welcome back everyone, welcome back to the third series of the broadcast, to our third best of 7. We just wrapped up with our first 2. We have said goodbye to certain players here. Both Bunny and Showtime are out. They're out of the tournament. Showtime just got eliminated by herO, and Bunny just got eliminated by Zound. So Showtime and Bunny are out of the tournament. My condolences. And we are here to determine which of these 2 players will advance on further into the bracket and into the offline finals, or into the offline portion of the tournament, who will travel to Paris, to France. Let's go, let's find out. As we do have Serral and herO facing off, bearing in mind that the loser of this series will have another chance. They will have another chance to redeem themselves, to recover up against Zound. Zound will play against the loser of this best of 7. And here we go. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the Finnish Zerg himself for Basilisk. It is Serral. Looking a little bit disheveled. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is herO. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Now, coming into this, typically, I would favor Serral. These 2 do go back and forth. They do trade. In a best of 7, I expect this to go a little bit further the distance here. I expect herO to take some maps for sure, but I would favor Serral 100%. But if you know anything about what's been happening as of late, you would know a couple of things. One, Serral, he's not at home. Serral, he is not at home. As you can see here, he is actually on vacation. Serral is on vacation. He's in a cabin in the woods, Bob. He's in a cabin in the woods. So much so that Serral is playing with his mobile internet. He's playing with his 5Gs, Bob. His 5G. So Serral, he's on his mobile internet, and this did actually impact last night's broadcast. Serral versus Raynor was Raynor looking very dominant, very one-sided, and Serral, he was having a bit of a harder time. There were definitely some latency issues, but not just that, of course. Serral, he's not playing on his home setup, and that did impact the previous series. That did impact Serral versus Raynor in last night's broadcast. Will it impact this series? I would say yes. It will impact the series. Will it impact it enough to allow I should say, will it handicap Serral enough to actually cost him the series, or can he kind of power through it? We're gonna find out together. We're gonna find out together here. We'll see. We'll see if Serral can beat herO while on vacation. Can he beat him while on vacation? Let's go, Buffy. Let's go. Just catching with the chat. ¿De dónde es, Patito? Que habla muy bien el español y muy bien el inglés. Más o menos, más o menos. Mis padres son peruanos, son de Perú. De Lima, de Tumbes. Los dos son mis padres. Pero nací aquí en Australia. Nací en Australia. Entonces hablo inglés. Inglés, man. Inglés. Here we go. Here we go. For now, we do have our Stargate opener out of herO. Standard stuff. Meanwhile, Serral back at home going for his own Hatchcast pool. Forced to take the unnatural natural. Claiming his third base as well. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild. Nothing too wild. Ahora entiendo. Está bien, está bien. Sí, sí, sí. Los padres son peruanos. Ya, papi, ya. Pues, bienvenidos. Much love, much love. From here, we are building up, claiming our third base, saturating our bases, and getting into the mid game. Really, our eyes are on herO and his Twilight Council timing. Does he go for an early council before the third base? Does he go for earlier upgrades? The answer is no, because the base is already going to be thrown down. The probe is in position, and we will expand before taking up. So far, everything looks pretty normal. Everything looks standard. From here, herO may just go for a defensive build and try to max out and try to build up into a longer and later game. herO, he can be very aggressive. He can be very in your face, but especially on a map like Maganatha, he may just opt to go for a more defensive route instead, as he is throwing down the extra gateway. Just second gateways on the way into his Twilight Council. From here, we're expecting a Forge into +1 and Blink Stalkers. The Twilight Council is a little bit earlier than we're used to seeing. A little bit. This does mean he will have an earlier timing with said upgrade. Slightly earlier. Here it does move out with a double oracle. That's a lot of gates on the way. And still no forge. Are we going into glaives? What do you have for us? Glaives or blink? As we have our Twilight Council. Gateways are finishing up. A Stalker will attempt to deny the scouts, and the Overlord will confirm everything. Yeah, sees the gateway explosion, sees the early blink, and should confirm no forge either. So hyper aggression here out of herO. Again, herO, he is heavily. Oh, who is it? Is it us? Who is it? Oh no!
Game pause.
As someone is spiking up in latency. Everything's good on our end. My ping in game is good, and my connection on OBS is looking clean. Earlier, Bommy was having some latency issues. The worst case scenario would be if it's Serral. Oh no, Serral. Yeah, his cam is struggling a little bit. As I mentioned before, remember, Serral, he's playing on remember, he's playing on his phone internet. Are we okay? Uh-oh. Yeah. So we might turn off the camera just to try. Yeah. Oh no, Serral. So as we mentioned before, Serral, he's currently on vacation. He's on vacation. He's not at home. So the internet is shaky where Serral is, and that's also why we brought up that it did impact the series last night against Rainer as well. Yeah. All good, all good.
Game resumed.
Settling in. Okay, focusing on the game here. Remember, no forge, no forge. We do have a gateway explosion. So far, we have 3 gates in the main base, 1 gate here, so 4 gate blink. Now, what we could do, a bit of an old school build, is throw down 3 more gates, go up to a 7 gate setup, proxy the 8th gateway, and go for a 3 base all in. I'm leaning towards a 3 base all in right now. The reason why I'm leaning towards it is because there's still no forge. If this were to be like an earlier blink timing to deny the 4th base and then macro from there, there'd be a forge by now, but there isn't. So without a forge, oh, we're taking up into earlier temple archives. We're taking into storm. Okay, yeah, my attention. Now, this early blink timing is still available here to herO, but the lack of forge tells us that this might be a storm timing at a herO. Yeah, more gates on the way. 3 more gateways. That is 7 gates in total. So he's getting up to 7 gateways. He's taking his gases to afford the High Templar. And we're going to be expecting a storm timing, a storm move out. Temple Archives is done. Or does he hit with only Archons? I mean, we're about to find out. Okay, there we go. Storm's on the way. Storm has begun. Here comes the move out. And typically, this move out should be punishing and breaking the 4th base. That's what this is typically lined up with. But the creep is looking solid. Serral, he's getting in position. And herO, he is now taking up. We have the Fleet Beacon on the way. Very late forge, might I add. It is a very late forge, but a forge nonetheless. And herO's turtling up. herO's turtling up. Knocks down the tower. And herO, he's taking up into Skytoss. If you recall, we mentioned this at the start of the game, how herO, he is willing, especially on maps like Tokamak or like Maganatha, to just turtle, defend, and take up into Skytoss. herO, he's trying to get there. He's being active with the army at least. He's being active. So he does pull away. Behind this, Serral has been droning, has been saturating. He's up to a 3.5 base economy. And Serral, he has a choice to make. Either drone or just go for a big move out here, a big layer-based timing with Ling Hydra. This style has been very popular as of late. A lot of 3 base all-ins. Just don't get Infestation Bit, don't get a Lurker Den, don't get a Hive, just purely on lair tech. So this is hyper aggression out of Serral. Now, can Serral break a turtling herO? herO, he will have Storm defensively. Tempest production has begun. The longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. Serral, he has to break him. Does step in, Storm does graze the army. Better Storm on the Hydras. So far, hero's holding on. Remember, herO, he did sacrifice his upgrades in favor of Storm. Sacrifice +1. So that extra Storm's available. Meanwhile, the 4th base, was that a kill? Cancel. That was a cancel. Thankfully, not a kill. Tempests have arrived. Oof. And the Tempests are taking a lot of hits. We should be cutting back. A little bit of miscontrol. Yeah, the first Tempest goes down, but herO holds. Yeah, here he does hold. He breaks through. He wants those Hydras. He throws away the Oracles. We're down to 4 Hydras. And herO does survive. But what's important, he's surviving, he's defending on 3 expansions, not on 4. If he had a 4th base, I would favor herO. I would say that herO was ahead and herO could max out. But herO does not have a 4th expansion. So economically, herO, he's still trying to build up. I think we can trust him not to cheat. I don't think anyone is concerned about that at all. It's less about that, more about just like having that available. Just adds to a broadcast. As roaches, they tend to go in, cannons in position. Telling cool, roaches are spotted. At the same time, the other Tempests are exposed. He gets 1, he gets 1, he gets 2 Tempests. Yeah, nice moves here by Serral, just pulling herO apart. And we spoke about it. herO, he failed to establish his 4th base, and he never will establish a 4th. And that is Serral's win condition. Just deny the 4th base over and over again. Deny the expansion. And herO will starve out. He just can't afford to max. He can't afford it. He doesn't have the money for it. Roaches are still in the main. Again, just causing a distraction. And Serral can just max. And Serral's taking up as well. Didn't have to, but he's got the Infestation Bits into Hive Tech, just to make sure that he has it available here to go into Vipers. As Tempests are building up, you can definitely argue to just get a Spire as well. And again, Serral can do what he wants. He has that freedom. Serral pulls away. See the chat. Serral looks so happy in vacation. Very happy, very happy. How does herO know Serral wasn't about to stream roaches across when dropping his 3rd? There was no roach warren that early on. Typically, you don't... the 3rd base timing is early enough that you're not really concerned about anything like that. That's... roach all-ins and roach attacks at a 3rd aren't really a thing. As we do have Hydras collapsing in from multiple angles, he's coming for the surround, and with that, Serral, he will trade well enough. He will break the main army, break the expansion again. herO just cannot get a 4th base. Will not happen. And that's all the Serral has to do, just deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base. Ooh, does take 1 massive storm to the face. So he has to be careful here not to throw away too much. As the Hive is done, we got all the upgrades going into Ultras. Serral, he wants to end it in style. I would have just assumed just get Vipers. Just get Vipers and throw down the Lurker Den. I mean, the Vipers are here. True. Here come the abductions. From here is taking a bit of Ultras. Let's go. Let's yoink whatever we can. Yeah, boys are being pulled, and here he's on that copium, Bappy. On the copium. As here he will survive this, but he's down to what, 29 workers. Again, it was a cheeky build out of herO, but GG gets called, and Serral, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG well played. Serral does take a lead in the series. As herO did attempt to try to be greedy here. Again, winding it back. I mean, I say greedy. herO, he was cutting corners. He did decide to skip out on +1, went for earlier Storm instead into a 4th expansion or into a more defensive setup, taking up and trying to rush into Skytos, into Tempest production. But alas, the Stalker aggression did leave much to be desired. Here he lost map control early on, he lost a bunch of Stalkers, and from there he was just stuck at home. He was doing his best to turtle up and get away with Skytos, but again, there was a lot working against him. Storms were helping, which was nice, and he did survive on 3 bases, but he never got his 4th base. His 4th base was denied, and he just could not build up from there. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. Here we go. As we're getting ready here for Pylon. Getting ready. This Pylon is going to be game 2. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Aggression is favored here on Pylon as well. And we could see Serral commit to more aggression here. Even earlier than what we just saw. This game, Serral, he joined up to, was it 72 or 76? It was like 70-something workers. 3.5 base saturation, where Serral, he just sent it across the map with Ling Hydra. Punishing hero's greed. Here we could see something similar. Likewise, though, this is a good opportunity for herO to actually be aggressive. This would be hero's map. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. Hello. Not making any drones. Going for the 12 pool. Oh no, when the camera's off, he's crazy, Bappy. It is a Serral. He's an animal. He's an animal. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, getting 12 pulled, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Down in the series, we'll see if we can recover, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is a herO. Here we go. As we are settling into game number 2 against Serral, the 12 pool is upon us. Now, 12 pools are not necessarily all in. There are all-in variations, there are macro variations. The goal here would be to make earlier lings. Now, this can coincide with a hatch block, but you can see here, no drone. No drone gets sent out, so there's going to be no hatch block, and there's going to be no proxy hatchery either. We are sending out lings. Now, you can pull the boys. You can pull the boys, and you can drone drill and add that extra DPS, and I think that's going to be the plan. Now again, this makes sense on this map. If you remember, what did I say coming into Pylon? This map is known for all-ins, this map is known for aggression. I thought this was going to give the opportunity for herO to be the aggressing player here on 2 bases, but Serral will strike first because all the boys are being pulled, and again, it's all or nothing. And this is the kind of build that works best on Pylon because of how short the rush distance is. I would say that maybe the next map to do this on would be Ultra Love, but that would be it. Maybe Torches? Torches is like a maybe on that one, but I feel like they're a better cheese pieces to do on torches, thanks to the gold base and thanks to the gold, also thanks to the mineral walls as well. Regardless, GG. Regardless, GG well played, as there is nothing here backing him to defend. There was no probe scout. No probe scout. GG, and Serral takes a 2-0 lead. GG well played, but again, no probe scout by herO. Without a probe scout, he cannot pull workers, he cannot wall off, he cannot chrono a zealot. A lot of the defense of a 12 pool is predicated on your ability to scout and recognize what's going on. herO did decide not to probe scout. Chose not to probe scout, so he did not see what was coming. As a result, no reaction. No reaction. GG well played. With that, Serral, he does take it to a lead, and we'll see if Serral can extend his lead even further here. Again, a very fast, very cheeky game. Now, my biggest concern here about what we just saw is that it's only smaller maps where I would say that herO has a really good chance to actually take a game if he can get into that early to mid game, right? If he can get into that Twilight Council timing against Serral. Pylon would have been one of those maps. Not anymore. Like, Serral, he just took that map away from herO. And, oh boy. Now we're going to be loading into Sandworm. Sandworm is another quirky map. True. Sandworm is a quirky map, and Sandworm has potential here. We'll see. We'll get into it. We will get into it here. I feel like I'll cheat out of a Serral / herO max out Slugfest. Not on Pylon. Not on Pylon. On Tokamak, sure. On Tokamak. On Maganatha, you could be talking about game one. Game one Maganatha, that's where we could have seen that sort of like maxed out setup. But of course, like, Serral did shut herO down early. And here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Sandworm. We have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg actually droning, so there's no 12 pool. There's no crazy 12 pool. There's no shenanigans here. Going for the 15-15 for Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sandworm, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss down in the series. The pressure is on. We got to start fighting back soon. Otherwise, the series will be over. It is herO. We got to start the comeback, Pat. Start the comeback. Here we go. As, hey, herO probe scouts. I mean, there was no chance we were going to be seeing a two 12 pools 2 games in a row. Like, no, that would never have happened. But herO actually probe scouts this time. He confirms, he's like, okay. You're expanding, you're probing, you're droning, you're taking a gas, you're taking a pool, everything's normal. Fair enough. But herO forced to probe scout after what happened in the last game. Now he can safely expand, he can safely set up. So Serral winning out in the mind games. Does win out in the mind games. Serral. Serral knew herO wouldn't see that coming, kind of. Like, he knew there was a very high chance that herO wouldn't probe scout. That we can say for certain. Like it was still a big risk. It was still a gamble, but like there was, like, again, a calculated risk, if you will. Calculated. As we do have a herO going for his own Stargate opener. Now, what's important is that after what just happened in the last game, expect herO to probe scout every single game. Expect that. So we don't really expect to see Serral go for another 12 pool. I mean, as we mentioned before as well, it's also very map dependent, right? It's like if we load into another smaller map, then maybe there's like an option for that. But you've already kind of showed your hand once in the series, so we don't really expect that again. Of course, I should also mention, welcome on to Sandworm. Sandworm is a TLMC 20 map from earlier in the year, and here we have gold bases. Gold bases are in the center of the map. There are some rocks to delay mining of the gold, but for the most part, you can take this as the third base. It is very secure. You have terrain here to help fortify this location. You got rocks here towards topside. You have these dragon's teeth as well, which do disrupt movement from certain units. Meanwhile, that is a 320 lair. Oh my god. Very early lair timing. He pulls into gas, all on 2 bases. Serral. Who's playing right now? Says Ducklings. Is that what is going on? Insanely fast lair. Now, with a fast lair timing like this, what could we go for? We could go into 2-base muta, right? We could rush into gases and go into a fast spire and go into muta play. The other option here would be to go for, if we had overlord speed, then I would lean towards something like a Nidus base all-in with German taxi. Otherwise, we could try to rush into hydras. Gases are being taken. Okay, we're taking extra gases. Technically, like a quirky infestation bit build with 2-base swarm hosts is an option, but for now, it's we'll see what it's gonna be. Rushing into hydras. Okay, so not the pits, not the spire. This is insanely fast hydra tech here at 420. And I believe this should be for an all-in. The reason why I say all-in, because we're sacrificing a lot of the economy. Remember, late third. We're delaying the third base, we're delaying droning, we're delaying saturation in favor of the fast lair, in favor of fast hydras. So, yeah, hydra speed is on the way. This should be for a ling hydra all-in. Now, herO, he's not fully aware. herO is aware of the lair timing, so he has a piece of the puzzle. He knows that aggression is... Oh, no! No reaction! Yeah, no reaction out of Serral. Ay, master stasis goes off. Remember, no drones, no saturation. But again, herO, he hasn't seen the Hydra Den, but he has seen the early lair. He has seen the late hatchery, and he should confirm the lack of drones, which will tell him it's an all-in. So he should be aware at this point that an all-in is coming. There we go. Does confirm the Hydras. Oh no, he commits to the shade. Does commit. He will lose the adepts. He does trade somewhat, but back at home we need shield batteries. We need as many shield batteries and cannons as possible. This is a late reaction. Yeah, late reaction out of herO. Is this too late? He only just now starts the cannons. He should have thrown them down earlier, but he never scouted the third. He never saw the lack of drones. That's a kill, not a cancel. A kill, not a cancel on the initial cannon. Going for another. That's another kill. Jeez, that's another kill. Adepts commits. We're going mass. Didn't even know. We're going mass oracle, Pappy. Let's go. Double stars. I was so fixated on what Serral was doing. I wasn't even paying attention to herO. He's going double Stargate mass oracle. He's crazy. GG. He shuts down the hydras, and with that, we have a series. Let's go, Pappy. Let's go. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe what herO was doing is he saw the lair, so I believe he read it as 2-base spire. I believe he read it as 2-base spire, 2-base muta, which is why there was a phoenix. There was a phoenix in the mix. So it looks like herO was initially getting ready and trying to hard counter muta play, but once he saw the hydra, when he shaded into the natural, then he started mass oracle. Then he went into mass oracle instead. GG well played. With that, he was able to collapse on top of the hydras, focus them down, and with that, we have a series. We have a back and forth. We have a very dynamic series so far. We have not been able to embrace the mid game. It just hasn't really happened. We kind of got it on Magnatha, but not really. Like, it wasn't a back and forth. It was just herO defending. It was just herO defending as an all-in for like 5 minutes. It wasn't quite any kind of back and forth mid game, and we might never get it. We'll see. Up next, we have Persephone. We're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we will return. We will return with the remainder of the series. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the series. We are now loading into game number 4, and we do have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here between our two players, and we'll see if we can go the distance and go even further beyond. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, going for the Probe Scout. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is a herO. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Again, we are halfway through the series, or at least hoping to be halfway through. Serral still has a lead in the series, of course, but herO was able to fight back. He was able to respond to the crazy 2-base all-in that Serral went for with what? With Mass Oracle of all things, making use of that second Stargate. As I mentioned before, it does look like herO initially was trying to respond to Mass Muta. Initially responding to Muta play to 2-base Spire. That's why he made the initial Phoenix, but then did realize what was happening and switched into Mass Oracle instead. With that, able to shut down the Ling Hydra. GG, well played. Again, Mass Oracle doesn't really scale too well into a longer game state, but specifically against an all-in like that, does have a lot of firepower, does have a lot of potential, and with that, we have made a series out of this. Let's go. Serral going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Serral. Once again, as I mentioned before, after the one game where Serral went for the 12 pool, herO has been probe scouting. We do expect this for the remainder of the series. Just make sure it doesn't get caught with his pants down once again. Meanwhile, welcome to Persephone. Persephone is one of the more quote-unquote standard maps in the map pool. Has its own quirks, has healing pads, has gold bases, has speed zones as well. But for the most part, you do expect to get into a longer macro game here. Building up on 4 bases, getting into your hive tech is what we're leaning towards. We'll see if herO makes his way there. We'll see if both players do. We'll keep an eye on the early tech. herO has yet to play standard. Likewise, Serral did play standard in game 1, at least up to a certain point. We're expecting a Stargate, but following that Stargate, again, our eyes are on herO. Serral didn't go on vacation to macro. You're not wrong. Went on vacation, have some fun, buddy. Aye. He's enjoying himself. Again, we've had some crazy builds this series out of Serral. Crazy builds. I can't remember the last time. I don't think I've ever seen Serral, for example, go for a 320 lair timing into 2-base Ling Hydra all in. Like, I don't think I've seen it before. Oh, hello. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Stargate opener, but we are going to be opening up Phoenix. Okay, so the purpose and the goal of a Phoenix-based opener is to do what? Is to hunt down this guy. To hunt down the Overlords. Hunt down the Overlords, deny vision, deny scouting, and keep the Zerg player in the dark. Now, behind this, you don't have to go for a cheeky follow-up, but you can, is the thing. You can go for one. Already going for an extra gateway. Interesting. Already going to be delaying his 3rd base. Overlord does get eyes on the gateway. And from here, herO can expand or he can tech up. He has options. Looks to be expanding. Does get his Nexus. Here we are moving out. So let's set up. Serral does go Eva Chamber first. This is indicative of +1 melee, indicative of Ling Hydra. So we have a standard opener here from Serral. Meanwhile, herO also goes for a Forge and Twilight Council after the initial tech. This does look like +1 and Blink. I say that this is a bit of an earlier setup. Usually we wait around the halfway mark for the expansion, but it was a slightly later expansion, so I think it lines up here. Oh, meanwhile, I'm going to have to eat my words. I assumed it was +1 melee, but no, we're rushing into early +1 range. Interesting. Early range upgrade, safety, Roach Warren, which means we might actually commit a little bit harder. Now, this might just be indicative of rushing into early +2 for a +2 timing for Hydra Lurker tech. So we'll see if Serral does tech up a little bit faster here. But I would imagine that this is going to be for +2. Meanwhile, looks like it was a tell. If you remember, we spoke about how the Forge and the Twilight Council was earlier than normal. I assumed that maybe it was just because of the earlier gateway, but no, it was earlier than normal, and we are going into charge, not Blink Stalker. So +1 in charge all the way from herO. Oh, this is a wild turn. Not going into Storm, going into a Bay. Okay. Let him cook, Pappy. Let him cook. Now, this follow-up, not the initial opener, but the follow-up here is more old school. If you remember, this build, Showtime was very fond of. Showtime was very fond of this, specifically a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, on the Altitude map pool. We saw this a lot from Showtime, we saw this a lot from Creator. This is a double Robo, double Colossus production. This typically hits with +2, and it hits with 4 Colossus. You don't hit with your first wave, you hit with your second wave of Colossus. At least that's how the build used to go a couple of years ago. So here we go, there's Extend Thermal Lance. Again, we're about to commence the Colossus. So very old school out of herO. Behind this, we do have, yep, the earlier Invitation bit, the earlier Hydrogen. If you remember, when we saw the early +1 range, my assumption was +2 range hitting with Lurkers. That was my initial assumption, and it looks like that's where we are heading. So there's +2. Hive is on the way, and we should soon be seeing said Lurker Den. Otherwise, we might just come with purely Roach Hydra. We'll see. We'll see how we make use of that Lurker Den, or of the Hive, I meant to say. Otherwise, this could just be used for Vipers. True. Yeah, based on the Roaches that we're investing into, investing quite a bit of gas. Oh. Hold on. There's a lot happening right now. So, first things first, he does scout the Hive. He gets Extend Thermal Lance. He cancels Thermal Lance. He makes 1 Colossus and then makes a hard switch into Mass Immortal. And then he goes into Sky Toss. We are making a lot of twists and a lot of turns right now. This is very tech heavy. Like, there's a lot of money being spent on tech right now. A lot of gas being spent on tech. So we open Colossus range into double Colossus. We cancel range. We only make 1 Colossus. It's rangeless. Into Mass Immortal. Into Sky Toss. Now, here, what's he basing this off of? I mean, he scouts the Hive timing. He does see the Hive. He's aware of that, at least. Tells us that Serral's setting up for a longer and later game. It also means that Serral has an earlier Viper power spike, and he's going for it. He opted not to go for the Lurker Den. He opted to max out with Ling, Roach, Hydra, Viper. Now, there's a couple of things here. One, this is a strong max out, true, and it will hit with +2, also true. Like, it hits with the upgrade timing, with the upgrade advantage. The problem here is that it doesn't really scale too well, so this has to get damage done. What I mean by that, there's no Ultra Cavern, there's no Spire, there's no Lurker Den, so as herO gets into Sky Toss, Serral's army is going to get worse and worse over time. So this has to get damage done. There's a lot of pressure on Serral, let's go. Because Tempest are amassing behind this. Serral, he has to break the expansion. The Storm is done. Oof. Storm's A-zone away the Hydras. Dying time for the rest of the army. Vipers have arrived going for the Abductions. He wants the Immortals. He gets 1, he gets 2. And 2 Immortals go down. Oof. How about the Storms are brutal. The Vipers, so the Phoenix is going to be cleaned up. The Viper will survive. Going for another Abduction. He gets another Immortal. That's what, 3 Immortals going down. But herO holds. Here he does hold, and you can see the Remax 24 Roaches. Serral wants to end the game. He wants to end it, but he realizes he cannot, so this is a rough moment. Ultra Cavern. This Ultra Cavern tells us one thing only. Serral, he has no faith. He believes that he cannot kill herO, and he is trying to get ready for that next step. Droning has begun, and more expansions are on the way. Serral's being forced into a longer game. The all-in has failed. And he's still stuck with all these Roaches. And again, Roaches, they do not scale well into longer games. So over time, this is becoming dead supply. He has to get rid of these Roaches. Ideally, as efficiently as possible. But herO, his army is outscaling Serral. This is a good example of the soup lies, right? The soup does lies. Serral, he's maxed. He's up, what, 40 supply, 50 supply? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because the quality of the army is superior for herO. Does abduct 1 Immortal. It does cost him 2 Abductions, but the Immortal goes down. And here is now getting his mothership, second Stargates, more Tempests, more Immortals. Here we go. Serral, he has to trade out these roaches. He's running into a wall of cannons. herO, he will shut this down, and herO, he's out scaling Serral. Yeah, Serral is being left behind. Serral, he throws down a Spire, starts Infestors. Ultra upgrades are on the way. But herO, he has a big power spike here. And Serral has to buy time. He has to buy time. He cannot deal with this army. Not yet. Ultras will help. Now, the role of the Ultras are ideally to get on top of the High Templar and to force out the storms. To force out the storms prematurely and to shut the High Templar down. Speaking of, he gets one, he gets two, he gets three! Jesus, 3 High Templar go down. Nice snipe, but bearing in mind that we're just throwing away these roaches, they don't really have any value, so sniping 3 High Templar is something. Better than it would have gone otherwise. And again, Serral cannot engage. He cannot engage. He does have Ultras on the way, which will help. Oh no! As the Ultras aren't quite ready. Ultras are massing. Nice little run by. Ephemery does collapse in. Ultras, he's getting some of the High Templar. Not bad. He gets 1, 2, 3 Templar go down. No more storms. He takes on every single Templar. The mothership falls as well, and Serral holds. Whew. So he holds the defense. Again, just really important, really patient play out of Serral. Allowing his bases to fall, just buying time to build the Ultras. herO can recover from this. He needs more damage. As the base is broken. Ultras, they just don't care about the Tempest. They walk in, they walk out. And we have a back and forth. We have a back and forth. We have a series. We have a game. As herO does punish the mineral line, denying any kind of gold mining. The Spire is done, and Corruptors are now amassing, so now Serral, he will have a better answer to the Corruptors, or sorry, to the Tempest, I meant to say, with those Corruptors. This is also where herO needs more Archons. So these are going to be 0-0 Corruptors for Serral, so the Corruptors are leaving a little bit to be desired. 12 Tempest. I would argue 12 Tempest is too many. 12 Tempest here for herO. That's a lot of Tempest. Now that does eat into the ground army. As herO still setting up. Again, just throwing down a massive wall of cannons, shield batteries, more Templar. Yo, I see Esther Chase in the chat. Chase, oh. Good evening, good morning. Good to see you, Chase. Hope you're doing well. Yo, when are we getting another Chase cast? ¿A dónde está mi Chase? Ah. As we do land the Fungals, yeah, Fungals do connect. The Tempest getting caught out. 12 Tempests are good, but they're all going to be shut down. Ooh, Corruptors extended the Storm, but there are not enough Archons. Not enough Archons, not enough anti-air. Every Tempest will fall. Nice Fungals. And again, the ground support just wasn't there for herO. Tempest had to get out of here. Yeah, had to pull away. Nice Storm. Very nice Storm. 2 Tempests remaining. Been here since down cure. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Chase, you were lunking, Bobby. You were lunking. Este Chase. Jesus. Stalkers, you get shut down. Once again, nice fungal here by Serral. And Serral, he dominates the fights. He dominates the fights. Here, he plummets in supply. And again, it takes so long to replace those Tempests. It takes so long. And Serral should just run away with it. It all came down to that fight, to be honest. It just came down to that fight. Here he plummets 56 in supply. He's making 2 immortals at a time. But what about the Sky Toss? Sky Toss is non-existent. It's not there. And Serral, he drops into the main. He's dropping into the main base. Oh, there's a recall. Does recall, does respond. Ultra's trying to move in. The Immortal, jeez, the Immortals, they just go to town on the Ultras. That was an expensive drop for Serral. It was quite expensive. But on the right-hand side, he breaks through. He breaks through, gets into the mineral line. Here, he will lose his expansion. He will lose the mineral line. Ultras are coming from behind. They get on top of the Immortals. That's still a lot of Immortals, though. You know, I could be crazy, but I feel like we should calm down on the Mass Ultra. Oh my god. We have 8 more Ultras on the way. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. You're up against Mass Immortal. Get a Greater Spire. Okay, Greater Spire's halfway done. Still working on the Greater Spire, working on the Brood Lords. So just working on those Brood Lords. Rotate. I'm needing an explanation for how Ultras fit in the Overlords. I'm pretty sure they have a visual of that in StarCrafts, right? Am I crazy? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They squish. Ultras, they're quite compact actually. They just they fold themselves in. It's fine. They're like Transformers. As we come in with the Mass Neural, Serral going to be ending this final fight in style. Neuraling those Archons. The Ultras still have a hard time engaging into the Mass Immortal, so again, this is not the most efficient fight out of Serral. And he's remaxing, he's making 7 more Ultras. Wait, we gotta calm down with the Ultras, Pat. We got 7 more Ultras on the way. Here, he's fighting quite well. I mean, he has no economy behind this. Like, here, he should not win this game. But, Serral, he's not making it easy for himself. There we go, we just mass neural whatever he can. We can kill ourselves. And that's the final army for herO. Again, herO down to a handful of units. There's 2 Eye Templar, a handful of Zealots, 1 Immortal. Oh, we're gonna do the Terran thing. We're gonna drop in with like 2 units. I'll land some storms. And GG gets called as Serral does extend his lead here 3-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, herO, he was able to successfully kind of turtle and max out, that is true, but he made 12 Tempest. He was very Tempest heavy, and Tempest are good, but again, Tempest, they need support. They need some free supply for Archons, for High Templar, for Immortals as well, but the support wasn't quite there because we invested so much supply into the Tempest themselves. With that here, he was stuck with a subpar army. One massive fight occurred, which did go heavily in favor of Serral. GG. And GG will play it from there. I think did snowball out of control. And with that, again, we're getting ready for potentially the final game of the series. Potentially. As up next, we're going to be loading into Incorporeal, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Longer rushes and spike rounds. We'll see if herO can bring it back. Pressure is on. Pressure is on. They roll up into a ball, yes. Ah. They're like socks. You went to bed. Oh no. Yes, we need it. We need to catch up, Chase. We need to catch up. It's been far too long. I need to know how many pedals you're up to now. I need to. I'm gonna predict 12 pedals. You're gonna bike all over the place. This morning, in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss down in the series. He has to fight back here and now, otherwise the series will be over. Now, technically, there is a bit of a lifeline here. There's a second chance for our players, but again, you do want to go in as, or you don't want to have to rely on that final series. We'll see if he can take it here and now. It is herO. Can he start that comeback? And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg for Basilisk. It is Serral. Oh. Pedal meme. God damn it. Esther Chase. You say that, we all know that I'm pretty close to what's real there. How do you? Ah, no. Surrounded by pedals. It would be cool if we could roll around the map as a ball. I feel like that should be like a co-op upgrade, right? Roll up your ultra like a big baneling, but he doesn't explode, it just rolls over units. Oh no. Kept. As now we're getting to openers so far, everything's looking normal, everything's looking standard. We have the second pylon here in the main base for herO. Based on the pylon placement, this does look like a Stargate opener. I mean, we haven't seen Twilight Council play yet out of herO, not completely. We'll keep an eye on it. Exactly. Ah, no. As it is going to be that initial Stargate opener in the main. Welcome to Incorporeal. Incorporeal is one of the larger maps in the map pool. We have seen a lot of players struggle in the late game. There are certain features here that do favor Tempest and do favor range-based Skytoss units. But I don't know if we will get there. I feel like it's going to be on Serral to be the aggressor this time. And we have seen a lot of aggressive play out of Serral already. Even in that last series, just going into Mass Ultra. That last game. Don't forget to stretch. Sorry, just stretching. The fatigue is getting to me a little bit. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. As we do have our follow-up here, this is going to be a bit of an earlier Forge and Twilight Council. Okay, very early. We might go for a +1 in charge again. Remember last game here, he had a really weird build of choice, going to +1 charge, then went for double Robot, double Colossus, switching into Mass Immortal, then into Rush into Skytoss. It's an interesting setup. He did get away with it. Once again, early Eva Chamber. My assumption here has to be +1 melee, but we have seen a lot of, well, I mean, last game we saw range, just like last game, going for earlier range into an earlier +2 timing. Meanwhile, also just like last game, we did take note of the earlier Forge and earlier Twilight Council, so it is +1 in charge again. This is almost like mirrored to the last game on Persephone. Almost the same setup here. So safety Roachborn into +1 range out of Serral into the lair. Meanwhile, herO going +1 into charge into potentially more robots. Let's see. As that is a gateway explosion. We got the stage trap here across the map. No crazy damage yet here. As does catch a queen, does get one drone. Gases are being taken, which means here he's taking up. Yeah, my attention. How many gateways? 7, he's getting up to 8 gateways. Is he taking these gases just for show? He is not saturating here at the natural. No gas at the natural base. +2 though has begun. Yeah, we're backing up Zealots. We're going for it. Let's go. Yeah, fake out. So the gases are fake. No saturation. Charges are moving out, and this is designed to kill. Oh boy. So very cheeky play here by herO, hiding all the Zealots, hiding the build. But Serral, he is going for safety roaches. Abby's going Roach Hydra. Is he too greedy? Is he being too greedy here? Zealots are moving in. You're catching a queen. Queen goes down, peels off into the mineral line. Drones are going to be falling. And there's just not enough roaches here. Not enough roaches. Roaches get surrounded. Here he gets into the mineral line. There's going to be 10 probe kills. 10 drones go down. And here he might be able to break on through. There's a handful of Hydras trickling out. But Hydras, they're not what you want right now. Hydras are so fragile. Yeah, the Hydras are so fragile. And every Hydra should be hunted down. Nice hold position micro. Here he's in the third. He's nice mining on the right hand side, and GG gets caught. Serral gets caught with his pants down, and herO does fight back, does put a point on the board. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A cheeky build here out of herO. Again, hiding his all-in, hiding the fake out here. He did take fake gases at the third expansion. He even had a gas at his natural, but 0 mining, 0 saturation, just purely warping in Zealots. He sent it across the map. Unfortunately, Serral was being too greedy. He was taking up from Ling Roach into Hydra Tech, which doesn't help in that kind of scenario. It doesn't help in that defense. So just a little bit too greedy there out of Serral. And with that, GG. With that, we're getting to our next game, and we'll see if Serral can close it out here. Now, we'll see if herO can force the ace match. Uno más, papi, uno más. He can force the ace match. Let's go. Let's go. The comeback has begun for herO. Here we go. We're getting to the next game, and again, we're close. We're close to potentially forcing the ace match. Now the pressure is still on. As spawning in the right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our red Zerg player, the Finnish Zerg for Basilisk, leading the series 3-2, and still one game away from claiming the entire tournament. Well, sorry, the entire series and advancing on in the tournament. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss. It is herO. Able to catch Serral with his pants down. The pants were down, committed with the charge, timing with the charge all in. Against Serral, he was droning, he was getting ready, he was taking up and getting ready into the mid-game. He gets caught with his pants down. So we're going to cheeky build out of herO. We do not expect to see that build again in this series. We'll see what he goes for this time. As we are loading into Ultra Love, Ultra Love does have a shorter rush distance by ground. We have seen a lot of all-ins from both sides on this map. All-ins out of Zerg players, all-ins out of Protoss. We'll see who takes the bait. Who takes it? Telling you that next series is going to be a hard one. It's going to... Oh no. I'll be ready. I'm going to have to drink some caffeine for that last series. We'll be good to go. We'll make it. For now, we are opening up. Again, the rush distance by ground is very, very short here on Ultra Love, especially if Serral expands towards herO. It's even shorter. You can engage, you can try to collapse into these expansions, into these bases. We'll see if herO does dabble in a Twilight Council opener. We'll see if he pulls us down. There it is, as if on schedule. As I mentioned, Zaun was very fond of these Twilight Council openers in his series against Raynor, and he did take down Raynor 3-2. Here, Twilight Council opener out of herO. We're leaning towards Glaive Adepts. Otherwise, this could be a DT-based opener. So far, it doesn't pull out. He does not pull out a gas, so it's going to be a little bit more gas-intensive here. I'm ready for the Glaives. Ready for the Glaive Adepts. Back. Let's go. Robo is thrown down. Goes to the Robo, he stays in gas. Again, is it going to be Glaives or is it going to be the Dark Shrine? Should be one or the other. Technically, could be both. True. Could be both. Oh, as Serral is making a wave of 16 Lings. And we have confirmation DTs. Okay, so it's going to be a DT opener out of herO. This is not hyper aggressive. This is a way to apply pressure. This can get damage done, but this should not end the game. From here, herO will be expanding. Basically, DTs, they will hit the field. Serral should have a Sport as third, and the Sport is natural in time for this. Should have them ready in time. Hoping that Serral does not cut corners. Getting a safety Roach Warren. He's aware that something's wrong. He's aware that the third base is missing. But herO should be going for a delay throw. No! He gets surrounded. Brutal setup. Remember, Blink is not a thing, so get losing one, losing two Stalkers, and from here can delay the third. We have more Lings on the way? Jesus. More Lings in production. Almost catching another depth. TTs are building up. Oh, they do hit the mineral line. No Spore. Yeah, no Spore in position. That was an oversight here from Serral. Spore does reposition. And with that, Serral, he's holding. Let's get into the main base, get some more damage with the Prism getting very low. Calm down, Bobby, calm down. And from here, he can then morph in the DTs into Archons. This is the added benefit of going for a DT opener, is the Archon Harass. Meanwhile, we're going into Blink? Shadow Stride. Blink DTs. Okay. Okay. He will not expand. The race is going to be denied for a second time. Brutal loss. Still being active. Shadow Stride is almost done. Bearing in mind that herO, he is building up his Dark Templar. He did choose not to morph in Archons. So 0 Archons here to herO. It's purely mass DT, and he's about to have Blink. Here we go. 9 Dark Templar going to be moving in. Now this is very committed. This is very risky. The goal should be to dive on top of the Spore. If he can focus on the Spore, he can break the base. If there it is, there's a dive, and the Spore gets 2 shots. Yeah, the Spore is shut down. The expansion is going to go down as well. Oh, God, Jesus. We're out here just dancing with the main army. Behind this, taking out Blink is on the way. +1 is on the way. So far, so good. Don't think you've ever seen Blink DT. Shadow Stride, Shadow Stride. Overload speed is on the way. So Serral, he's taking a little losses so far. He's lost 6 drones, he lost queens, he lost an expansion. That was a kill, not a cancel. So Serral's in a rough place. Serral, he's going for overload speed. This is indicative that we're going for an all-in. But Serral, he's getting a hatchery just for larva, and he's going to commit on 3 bases. It's a sign. Otherwise, this might just be overload speed. Just yeah, he's droning. Oh, he's droning up, which means only overload speed just to keep up with the DTs. Aye. Yeah, brutal investment there for Serral. So herO can now go for the Archon drop. He's now saturating his bases. It's looking good. And yeah, it's been a pretty quirky game here, but herO, he's finding his footing. He's finding his footing, going into Mass Archon. The first Colossus has arrived. We have Immortals as well. That's going to be ideal against the Roaches. Very ideal. Oh, and hero's moving out. Let's push. Colossus again, weird. We see a lot of Colossus in ZvP. It's just a better answer to a more Roach heavy composition, more so than Storm, for example. I mean, I say it's better against Roaches. It is better than Storm against Roaches, but Immortals are more ideal. Here, just rounding out his army. Let's save the Archon. So he's maxed out with Roach Ravager. And with that, that's going to be a lot of Roaches going down. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, again, Serral, he might be maxed, but here he has the more efficient army. So the Colossus, got the Immortals. Oh. So here he dodges the Wiles. Oh, Wiles on the way, grazing the army. Here it does graze, does connect. Serral, can he still make this work? There's still a lot working against him here. There's still 2 Immortals, still a Colossus. Another Colossus on the right hand side. And again, the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Serral. He has to end it before things get out of hand. It might just be too late anyway. Yeah, Stalkers, they reinforce. Serral's getting caught out at the same time. There's an opening. Okay. Here's an opening. Pokes in, gets some pylons, pulls away. Serral moving in. And Serral trying to break through. Again, still just some very inefficient fights. Getting into tunneling claws. No burrow. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. Oh, wait, no, it does have burrow. The fatigue is getting to me bad. So we're just gonna be moving in, takes out the Immortal. So he has enough. Yeah, he has enough. If the Immortals were kept alive, then different story, but there's no Immortals, only the Colossus. Stalker's getting picked up, and Serral, he has done it. He has broken, and not just the base, but he's breaking the main army. Oh, I say that, we have more Jesus. Oh my, where was the Robo army? Yeah, he reinforced, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's got 3 Colossus. You can hear his reinforcements, they were very late to the party, but they're here. And herO will not be stuffed. So 3 Colossus. And an Archon. So he needs more time. Needs more time. Smiles A's on the way. You're slowly pushing in. And again, here he reaches final form. He reached that death bull of an army. The Roach Ravager just cannot engage. Well, he does land some Biles. Couple of nice Smiles. Here moving in, getting into the Ravagers. There's what, 4 Ravagers left. Oof, down to 2. Ravagers. Loss getting very low. Oh, the Biles! The Biles going for the Prism. Oh, it does graze the army, does graze the Prism. Prism does survive. And are we going to the ace match? Are we going all the way? Are we going the distance? Which is they do threaten, they do keep some supply back at home to defend. Oh, use some force fields. Let's get herO rotating in. God, that Colossus is so low. Down to 29 HP. 29 HP, the Spine Crawlers are helping. Ooh, that was a crazy blink. I blinks in, he bleeds out almost half the Stalkers. But in the end, was worth it. Boys are being pulled, Serral's getting desperate. Oh, finally gets the Colossus. Colossus goes down. Serral, he's holding. He's surviving. Jesus. As the roaches are being so annoying, 14 probes going down. Shout out to the 2 roaches. They get a lot done across the map. The tunneling claws back every time. And herO would still have a chance in this game if he had an economy. He's been leading out probes the entire time. He's making a couple more roaches. It's easy to hit center right. So still making more roaches. Again, this almost did kill him. It was very clutch, very close game 1. He's pushing out once again. Coming in from multiple angles, zones away the main army. And again, it was valiant efforts, but alas, in the end, our Zerg player here should run away with this. 17 probe kills. 17 probes. herO trying to escape. Again, he's going for a pseudo base trade, but GG gets caught here. He's out of steam, he's out of resources, out of everything, and Serral will claim the series at 4-2, advancing on, and he will be a part of the offline event. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Serral, he will claim the series, he will advance on, and Serral, he has now made it through far enough in the tournament to be a part of the offline finals over in France, over in Paris. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Serral. Congratulations. And we are going to be cutting to a break. Here because if you're a fan of herO, he is not out of the tournament. He is not out. herO, he's going to be knocked down to the next series. It's going to be herO versus Zaun in a PvP. Zaun was able to win previously against Bunny. And now it's going to be again Zaun and herO facing it off in that final best of 7. Now we're going to be going on a short break. True, I do have to head on over to the Korean server, I believe. And we'll see you guys soon with the final series. See you soon. Bye. See you soon.